Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The showdown in the courtroom that no one predicted would ever take place is real, and it is shaking the very foundations of the Sister Wives universe. Janelle Brown and Meri Brown have finally had enough of broken promises, emotional manipulation, and financial injustice for years. The two former sister wives have officially filed legal notices against Kody Brown, demanding full accountability, proper restitution, and most shockingly, the return of their rightful share of the Coyote Pass property in an explosive legal move that has been building behind the scenes for months. The mask is removed. This is no longer a family conflict that is resolved in front of TLC cameras or covered up with emotional confessions. Court is here. This is true. And this is war. Kody exercised unchecked authority for a number of years, treating his plural marriage not as a partnership but rather as a dictatorship that was shrouded in spiritual jargon and hazy property plans. However, Janelle and Meri are now reversing the script. No more bowing down. No more assuming that everything was fair. Kody is being held accountable in a manner that is as public and irreversible as possible. The man who once claimed to be the family's provider and protector is now the defendant in a legal battle that could unravel the last strands of his so-called legacy and reveal every deception, manipulation, and unethical financial move he has made. The story of Coyote Pass has always been riddled with inconsistencies and confusion, but fans have long suspected that something wasn't adding up. Kody showed architectural plans to each wife and promised them a piece of land to build on. The emotional discussions, the fictitious family reunions, and the dramatic drone footage of dirt plots that represented a dream of permanence are all remembered by viewers. But things were a lot more complicated behind the scenes. While Kody remained contentedly indoors at Robyn's opulent Flagstaff home, Janelle was the only wife to take that dream seriously enough to invest in an RV and literally live on the land. Even though Meri's relationship with Kody had ended many years ago, her name was still included in the legal documents that were attached to the family's assets. Robyn got a home, security, and emotional attention, whereas Janelle and Meri got gaslighting, vagueness, and shifting timelines, despite Kody's promise of equality. Christine completely abandoned Coyote Pass when she left in 2021, but Meri and Janelle remained hopeful that Kody would keep his word. Instead, they received lies, dismissal, and, in the end, exclusion. This exclusion was made abundantly clear earlier this year when leaked documents revealed that Kody had secretly transferred portions of the land at Coyote Pass into trusts that favored Robyn and himself, effectively excluding Meri and Janelle without formal notice or discussion. That was the tipping point. Janelle's close associates claimed that she was devastated and enraged by the betrayal, particularly considering that she had contributed tens of thousands of dollars to the property's taxes, upkeep, and surveys. Meri, who had initially been promised her own building plot and had invested emotionally and legally in the family's business ventures, was equally shocked to learn that she was being cut off from the very dream she had helped establish. This was theft disguised as spiritual leadership, not just betrayal. As a result, Janelle and Meri did the unthinkable. They hired a lawyer. In addition, court papers have been filed in Arizona requesting a comprehensive financial audit of the family, the written restoration of the land that was promised, and legal compensation for contributions that were made under false pretenses. The court notice, obtained through public records, outlines a civil dispute over property misallocation, verbal contract violations, and potential fraud. It describes how Kody used family LLCs and joint financial accounts for personal gain, particularly in relation to Robyn's household, continued to use the wives' resources despite failing to document ownership rights, and misrepresented the distribution of assets. In addition, it asserts that Kody persuaded Meri and Janelle to invest in Coyote Pass with assurances of future returns, knowing that only he and Robyn would ultimately gain from the transaction. A judge is looking into these claims right now. If they are upheld, it could force Kody to give back land to Janelle and Meri, or pay a six-figure settlement. The fact that Robyn Brown has been identified as a beneficiary of unjust enrichment in supplementary filings is even more shocking. Despite the fact that she is not a direct defendant in the case, her involvement is being investigated, particularly with regard to the financing of her house. Fans have known for some time that Kody paid off Robyn's mortgage with money from his family. Now, the courts may make bank records, title deeds, and LLC agreements that have been kept a secret for too long public. If these documents confirm that Robyn benefited disproportionately from pooled family finances, without Janelle or Meri's consent, she could also be held financially accountable in court. Longtime viewers of Sister Wives, many of whom believe this is karmic justice that has been in the works for years, have rekindled their interest in the show now that the favorite wife is finally facing consequences. The public has reacted swiftly and strongly. Fans have rallied behind the two women, who were frequently silenced, marginalized, and manipulated by Kody's dominance, with hashtags such as #JusticeForJanelle and #MeriDeservesMore. The creators of TikTok are analyzing court documents. YouTube channels are already making predictions about what this means for subsequent seasons, and Reddit threads are overflowing with forensic-level breakdowns of Coyote past plotlines. However, industry insiders claim that TLC is in a frenzy, unsure of how to proceed with a show whose foundation now includes court battles and allegations of financial fraud. In contrast, TLC has remained largely silent. Some people think that this could be the next chapter of Sister Wives, changing from a show about a family's dynamic to a docudrama about the legal system, a complete departure from the original idea of family unity. However, this is not about ratings or fame for Janelle and Meri. Rather, it is about regaining their dignity and securing what is rightfully theirs. Both women devoted decades of their lives to a man who convinced them that they belonged to a family, a legacy, or a vision. However, they were ultimately utilized. Janelle's financial acumen was taken advantage of, and her willingness to give up things was assumed. The loyalty of Meri was twisted against her. Additionally, they were described as bitter, disrespectful, or angry when they questioned the fairness. Not any longer. Statements from both women are included in the court filings, describing not only the legal basis for their case, but also the emotional toll that the deception has taken on them. The following is a portion of Meri's statement. "I trusted Kody with my time, my money, and my future. He betrayed that faith. I want to be held accountable, not just for myself but also for each and every woman who has been told to keep their mouths shut in order to maintain peace." The message from Janelle, "I believed in Coyote Pass," is just as powerful. That is what I believed. I want what is equitable, what I was promised, and what I have earned. It's not surprising that Kody has denied any wrongdoing. He asserts that the dispute is a misunderstanding among family members being handled in the appropriate venue, and insists that he acted in good faith at all times, in a brief statement released by his legal representative. But few people are buying it. His breakdowns on the show, his emotional outbursts toward his children, and his perception of Robyn's favoritism have all hurt badly. It is becoming increasingly difficult for him to hide behind evasive spiritual language or television confessional excuses now that court documents support the wives' claims and legal proceedings are underway. Kody is being held accountable for the first time not only in the court of public opinion but also in a real court of law.